Let's do this. Do. Oh, it worked today in one try. Oops. Fucking phones. What up? I don't even know if I can hear myself. I can't. Susan. Yo. No. It's Wednesday, but it feels like a Friday. It really does. What's going on, beautiful people? Should I pull this shit? I got it backwards. I don't want to show the name on this damn beanie, but it's a dope ass beanie. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe, and welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, where things continue. The show that never ends. I feel like my microphone is in a shitty spot. I just wanted to wear this beanie, and now I'm like immediately regretting this decision. What's going on? Welcome back. Oh yeah, that might be it. Hello? Yo, stupid ass. Okay, my bad. It was because I got a beanie on and I can't hear my shit, but the show must go on. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show. If this is your first time here, thank you. I'm having some fucking wardrobe issues with the stupid beanie. It just isn't working. Thank you for being here. You can't hear the music because it's YouTube, but you're part of the studio audience. And I'm going to lose my mind staring at this stupid beanie this whole time. Can't do it. Can't do it. My hair's a mess. All right. Better. Does it show the fucking name? It does. All right. Anyway, welcome to today's show. And I mean, let's just keep it light. We're going to talk about gas prices, what's going on with that, a little bit of news. There's supposed to be a rocket going to go hit a meteor. I doubt that it's going to work. There's some crazy weather in Egypt that I wanted to talk about. I thought it was like really, really interesting. And it kind of has something to do with the Bible and stuff. Sort of, kind of. We'll see. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to give y'all my rendition on Thanksgiving from the information that I have gathered. And it's probably wrong. Who knows? Most likely I'm going to make the whole shit up. Plus, I'm going to give y'all 5 tips on how to save gas this holiday season. Because I think that's a big deal. Saving gas is a big deal. And we'll talk about how you can achieve that. Now, we're recording for the podcast, so if this is your first time here, like and subscribe. We would appreciate that. When you like it, other people get to see the video, and when you subscribe, you just get a reminder from when we're on and whatnot. Either way, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a good, quick show. We'll keep it quick. I mean, it's Thanksgiving, people cooking, and nobody want to get bothered with the news. Oh, boy. I should have found a tomatoes, greens, means, beans song to start today's show because that would have been dope. Or jump on it, Geronimo. Dun, dun. No. All right, my bad. I thought it'd be good. Sound like it'd be good. Follow through. You can't hear the music if you're watching. If you want to listen to the music, head over to Spotify, head over to Apple Podcasts. That's where you can hear it. That's where you get to enjoy the tunes. Roll the few. Ocean views. This shall be fun. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Looking at us. Hey. It's Kasabian. Kasabian Lavoe One. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show. This is episode 261, I believe. Yes, episode 261, live from Las Vegas. I'll be your host, Kasabian, with talent on loan from God. And let's get right into today's show. We're going to keep it light. I'm going to give y'all 5 tips on how to save gas this holiday season. On top of talking about saving gas, we'll talk about what the president's doing to help us with our gas prices. I'm going to do a little review on King Richard if you haven't watched that. Great movie. There was a story about this weather that erupted in Egypt about 2 weeks ago, early November, and it's dope. I want to talk about it. On top of, that was it. Because I just want to keep things like, oh yeah, and then my version or rendition of Thanksgiving and what happened when the Pilgrims came here with the natives, and you know why I think that we should like just keep celebrating, but think happy thoughts. You know what I'm saying? The show today is brought to you by Hemper. Head over to hemper.co. Use Kasabian Lavoe. Save you something like 20%, I think. Use go to popple.co, use Kasabian Lavoe and check out. That'll save you some bread. There's a couple places that Kasabian Lavoe is going to save you some bread for this holiday season. But make sure you head over to klavoe.com. Go check out the merch. Check out the new exclusive. We got hats, beanies, cups. I gotta stop saying for today's episode. I don't even know why I'm saying because today's episode is too short for us. I only do when I have nothing to put in between. Pause. Super pause. Oh, yo, the Ahmaud Arbery case is finally closed, and the 3 gentlemen that I can't call them gentlemen. Those 3 pieces of shit are guilty, and they are going to jail. Justice has been served. Ahmaud's father actually said some beautiful words after the whole thing, and if you haven't seen it, head over to Instagram. It's all over, but he basically was saying that, no one should have to go through this. Black lives matter, all lives matter, and that no parent should ever have to go through this. We just got to do better as people for people, and I agree 1,000%. I think as people, we need to do better for each other, and let's just, bro, nobody wants to bury that baby, and nobody wants to fucking deal with that type of heartache. So rest in peace to Ahmaud. Hopefully, with justice being served, we can get a little more peace in the community. And again, remember, this wasn't any police violence. This wasn't anything political. This shit was just some goofies that had nothing to do with nothing, and they just did too much. It's not your job to be the police. If you're the police, be the police. If you're not, mind your business. King Richard, if you haven't watched it, it's the movie about Venus and Serena Williams' father, who is, listen, as a father, I don't even think I could do half the shit that man was doing with those girls. He was very passionate about teaching them. He was very hands-on with what he did to get them to the level that they needed to be to move forward with bigger coaches and like better training. He did a phenomenal job. And if the story's accurate, he definitely put in more time than a normal father would. But again, it feels like a stage parent too, kind of like that was where we kind of gathered our. There's something about parents that push their kids. Y'all are different. I'm not that parent. A little cringy sometimes. It scares the shit out of me. I'm really not fond of pushing kids to do things. But nonetheless, man, what he did and what he accomplished was definitely something that you cannot take away from him, the history, the excellence that came from that family. It's unheard of. And he knew what he was doing. He said, I'm going to make one great and one the best ever. And that's hard as a parent. Again, that's hard. Like, how do you do, I don't know, the feelings, the emotions, I have daughters. It's different with my little girls than it is with my boys. And it's like, I don't know. It was a great movie. Please watch it. It'll inspire those that aren't inspired, and it'll definitely give you some type of hope. And it's just beautiful to see our people, be successful. It's dope. This story was recent. Like, we lived this story. Some of us, they're a little bit older than me, but nonetheless, we grew up in that time. We saw what they did. They were phenomenal. Like, I had to go back and watch the original match. She was a little girl. Shit was amazing. It was amazing. Go watch it. Will Smith did a great job, and he's going to be mad at me. And I don't care, Will. I don't care. Be mad. Just get mad. Get real mad. Stop being fake mad. We can do this all day. I don't care, Will. So, what else is happening that we should talk about? Thanksgiving. People have been so divided on holidays, and I understand. With the internet and information, we kind of get more information that we necessarily need sometimes. So when shit like holidays come around, rumors start and they never stop. But there's some history that we can't necessarily negate, and nonetheless, it may have been fake, it may have been real, but there's different stories that we might want to tell. When Thanksgiving gets brought up, it's usually this story of genocide and homicides and rape and pillaging, but that wasn't the case. In reality, first off, America was named after an Italian. If you didn't know that, America was named after an Italian. The name was something America. I'm sure. Let me not make that joke. But anyway, that's the truth. The natives that were here, there was tons of natives here. There was, half of the country was Mexico, so there was Spanish people here, Aztecs. There was many people here. Christopher Columbus was not the first person here, nor did he discover anything. That wasn't the case at all. But they did bring culture here, and they did bring things here that were necessary to live the life that we live today. So as mad as you want to get or whatever you think happened, nonetheless, what they started has created the world that we live in today. The land of the free, the home of the brave, all those things are possible with them getting here, period. When they get here, the story goes, when they tell you in school, is that they pillaged, they killed, they took over, they raped, not true. They were actually a bunch of dirty ass people. They were just disgusting, dirty people in boats. And they weren't really good at maneuvering their boats. You see, the whites weren't the first one with the boats. If you didn't know that, Egyptians, Africa, blacks, the Spaniards, that whole area was like full of boats. This guy wasn't good at at maneuvering his boat in a timely fashion. The man made it everywhere but where he was supposed to go. He called them Indians because he thought it was India. That's where we got that name from. There's a lot of stupid little things that we've just lived with and no one ever talks about. So when they got here, they had syphilis, they had common cold, they had, disease ridden left and right. And when they got to land, what happens when you bring disease into somewhere that doesn't have any? Kills people. It was a different time. There wasn't medicine. They couldn't run to the store and grab an Advil and take care of things. Now, when the Pilgrims got here, what they did discover was that the natives didn't really have a system of how they operated. It was very monocultured, meaning like there's a king or the leader of the tribe, and then he was concerned about everything and he had to do everything. The Pilgrims taught them how to basically have a free market. Like, hey, if you can trade with each other, he can do one thing, you can do one thing, they can do one thing, and we can all trade amongst each other and we can work with each other, as opposed to just a certain group of people doing all the work for everyone around you. This is why there was the cornucopia, right? All the food and Thanksgiving. That's what happened. You see, you free up time. The natives just didn't have the skills that the Europeans did at the time, and they were able to use that and come together. It was really a family, a brothership, because what they learned was how to grow their businesses per se, but in reality, it was just how to live better. Hey man, who's good with their hands? Who knows how to build houses? If you build houses, I can feed you. Bet. I'm good at growing corn. I'm good at growing rice. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. I'm good at hunting, and we all come together and we work with each other as a society. That's how society works. The number one problem in human history was eating food. That was our biggest issue, was survival, shelter, and food. We've solved those problems. We literally live in a world where we make up our own fucking problems just to give everybody a hard time. The number one thing that the human, animal, the mammal, the everything and anything that started off in this world, that everybody fights for the same, every animal fights for the same thing. That's food and water. That's it. We solved it. We're the fattest people in the fucking world. That's a fact. Sorry, guys. Don't mean to break hearts. Hey, Fatty right here is telling you. I'm speaking. I'm the king of the fatties at the moment. Trust me. It is solved. There's no more food problems. So when you see, these stories being told that they came and that they took and they this and they that, let's stop the bullshit. The natives have, had some pretty horrible past. They don't talk about that. And that's fine. We won't talk about that. Let's continue to just speak on what Thanksgiving really means. And that's the problem. You can make anything negative. This is a beautiful thing. We're supposed to get together as a family. Everybody puts in it's like a giant potluck, and we all get together, and hopefully we don't talk politics and talk anything. We just kick it, smoke some weed, drink, and enjoy, and be able to show, that we came together. And I don't think it was ever supposed to be like a party, but what they were proving was that, hey, if we work with one another and we ration our time, because that's all it really was, right? It was a time management thing. One person can't do everything. You have to rationalize and be able to delegate. They didn't have that power. It just wasn't a thing. When people say we should go back to the European ways, no, we shouldn't. We should never go back there. The reason why the United States is so amazing, the reason why you can even say that we should do anything is because the United States is so amazing. Like I was talking earlier about freedom of speech. The president shouldn't speak on local cases. The Ahmaud Arbery case, the fucking Rittenhouse case. The president shouldn't say anything about these cases. It's not his place. You see, if you watch The Office, you remember when there was co-managers and Michael was the manager for the big pictures, and then they used Jim for the small day-to-day stuff. So the president isn't supposed to talk about anything that's related to a court case. He needs to shut the fuck up about it for all of them, because imagine how many court cases are going on right now with the same thing, random people with some type of kidnapping and a shooting and a murder. There's tons of them. So when you speak on one, it's inflammatory. And when we talk about freedom of speech was for us against the government. That means the government can't stop us from saying, fuck the government. We can do whatever we want. When we have to censor ourselves, it's because of companies like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and all these things that they make us not say things. But our government here in America, for other countries that don't understand, because we are broadcasted worldwide, in America, we're allowed to speak up and speak out. You're not. People go to jail in London behind their Facebook posts and Twitter posts. People in China can't even use Facebook and Twitter. The government actually, I kind of like what they do with their Twitch. They run with their TikTok. They have like a version of TikTok out there where basically every other post is educational. They're training their kids to be smarter than our kids. And we yet have fucking had a system that works to make sure that our kids are smart. We live in a country full of dummies and nobody's doing anything to rectify that. No one. Everybody else in the world is like zooming past us, and we are literally just becoming an entire country full of dependent people that aren't self-efficient and can't even make their own choices up, like, at all. We're almost at the point where we need the government to tell us what to do. Because somebody help me. Anyway, the story behind the whole pilgrims and the natives was that, unfortunately, there wasn't any medicine. So when those sick, nasty, dirty fuckers came here, they all died. And the stories go. There's so many different stories that you hear, from Christmas to Halloween to this and that. Listen, chill. It's too late. This is custom already. This is what we do. Can we just make it a happy thing? Can we take all the negativity out of it and just enjoy it? Let's just enjoy that. There's a rocket being sent off into space, or that was sent off into space, and it's going to hit a meteor. We've seen movies. This shit doesn't work. We're fucked. Somebody get Bruce Willis. And let's get to today's show as I have my asthma attack per usual. So gas prices, I'm going to give you the 5 tips on how to save gas this holiday season. Tip number 1, walk. It doesn't cost gas to walk. 1. 2, buy an electric car. That's number 2. That'll save you tons of gas if you use an electric car. 3, ride a bicycle. Why? Because, again, no gas. See what I'm saying? You see where we're going here. 4, don't go nowhere. That saves gas too on the holidays. Stay your ass at home. Stay up out of trouble. And last but not least, number 5, and you guessed it, skateboard. Take you a longboard down the block or some shit to your uncle and them house, get you some food and get your ass on home. Don't go outside wasting gas in that damn Nissan of yours. You hear me? So President Biden released some barrels of this story bothers me. The fuel crisis that we're going through. The president has released some barrels of gas, crude oil, 55 million barrels, I believe. But in reality, this isn't going to ease anything. We're going to use that up in about 2 days. You see, our energy sector, the person that's in charge of our energy was asked, how many barrels do we even go through a day? You see, because they say 50 million and you go, oh, that's a ton. In reality, it's nothing. 2.5 days worth of gas. There's 300 million of us. There's a simple fix behind all this. We're in a gas crisis by choice. This is all virtual signaling bullshit. And now we are in a position where saying shit like, oh, this will just make us get electric cars on the road faster. It's embarrassing. They just don't know what they're doing. We're dealing with literally a team and a group of morons. And it's unfortunate because us, the people here, we the people, have to suffer. Story comes from Fox News. It was from some TV show. I just thought it was pretty funny, but they gave like the gist of it. So President Biden was simply paying more lip service to inflation and oil price crisis. Again, the crisis, even though it is a crisis, it's a simple fix because he made it a crisis. The first day he got in office, by canceling the Keystone Pipeline and all the drilling we were doing in Alaska. I mean, bro, we were selling gas. Like, we sold oil. We've never sold oil. President Trump had us selling oil for the first time ever. When he ordered the release of 50 million barrels of oil from the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserves. So we have basically these giant ships that hold oil reserves for us, and we use them in case of emergencies to help with prices, just to delegate. And when there's like either shortages or prices skyrocket, we just keep this reserve as a just in case. You can't keep it forever because it goes bad. So we do use it and they rotate it. But nonetheless, we have a reserve. And once again, to fix the gas crisis, just stop the bullshit and let's get right back to that Keystone Pipeline. And let's get those. First off, the Keystone Pipeline affects not only us in the United States, it affects Canada, Mexico. Like, there was so much, it was billions and billions of dollars and trillions of fucking oil barrels that were going to come out of this. Okay, so 50 million barrels may seem like a large amount of precious commodity to a nation. Excuse me, let me slow down. I'm ahead of myself. While 50 million barrels may seem like a large amount of precious commodity, the nation will use that in 2.5 days. Joe doesn't seem concerned, does he? He wants higher prices. That's not true. I guess he said it'll make it easier to transition to green energy. That he did say. He doesn't want to pay the political price, so then he does these silly releases which do nothing. And it's true. This is embarrassing. What do you think the price is going to change if we just get a bump for a day? This is trash. OPEC has been ignoring Biden's plea for more foreign production. That's another thing. This gets even better, right? So not only is it that we don't have gas, but is that the world is saying, hey man, you guys are taxing other people's supplies now because you have your own shit. Why don't you use it? Like, you're using this over here and we're not going to give you any more oil. Use your own shit. And he doesn't. He just doesn't. All he would have to simply do is revert to domestic drilling in federal lands in Alaska, as President Trump did, and reestablish the Keystone XL pipeline between Alberta, Canada, and the Gulf Coast. That's a huge deal. Dana Perino further added that Biden's deputies did not fare much better under press questioning Tuesday when Energy Secretary Jennifer Grom responded that she doesn't know the amount of oil the United States consume in a day. Then it says in quotes that, yeah, you should probably know that if you're the Secretary of Energy. And I agree 1000%. On top of that, gas actually went up after all this went down. So go figure. Nothing's really working. We're going to need to start digging up oil soon. And if we don't, we're going to have more problems than what we think. Good thing is, hey, guess what? You want some work? That's just going to pay great. So the other story is my last story. That's it. We're done for the day. Stories about Egypt. And you know, in the Bible, they told all these stories about like rain and fire and locusts. That type of shit might have happened because we just had a story from a couple weeks ago that seemed to be out of the Bible. So it's from Gizmodo. I don't even know where Gizmodo is from. I saw the story and I wanted to talk about it, but then where's my hair at? Yo, it look like I'm going bald. Anyway, stories from Gizmodo. As if extreme weather wasn't terrifying already, this weekend, one city reporter, a literal... Fuck me, I'm stumbling all over my own words. As if extreme weather wasn't terrifying enough already, this weekend, one city reported that the literal plague of scorpions had came out in the wake of some major storms ripping through the region. Okay, in Egypt, they literally had snow, rain, hail, floods, hurricane winds, and I think it was an earthquake. Scorpions came out of their homes by the hundreds. On Saturday, an Egyptian outlet, Al Harim, reported that torrential rains and snowfall blowing across the city of Akwan over the weekend had driven out swarms of scorpions from their nests to direct... Damn, this is terrifying. Oh, my God. They were getting directly into people's homes. And where the scorpions did what they do best, in quotes, sting the shit out of anybody nearby. Other locals reported that, damn, it was over 450 scorpions. Jesus Christ. No, excuse me. Over 450 people were stung and 3 died. Ugh. No, I don't play with scorpions. Here in Nevada, we got scorpions. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. But imagine that. You live in a town where it's snowing, it's raining, it's blowing wind at hurricane speeds. There's an earthquake. Now there's scorpions everywhere. You would write that shit down and think God was mad at you too. Just saying, sometimes life is all about perception. My name is Kasabian. That's been today's show. I'm going to go play video games with my friends. My name is Kasabian. Be safe, stay dangerous. Live in the moment, don't live in the past. Lavoe loves you. Wah! Push the button. Wah!